Hello and welcome to Star Forward Solutions, where we're going to be talking about some uncomfortable situations today that don't need to be. And I am going to be talking with Vickie Owens all about it. Hi, Vickie.
Hi, Marianne. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. And I know that we're going to be talking about some situations, some words that are kind of hard to say, but we do need to plan for our future. And you're the person that we're going to do it with.
Yes, yes. At least I hope you will.
Oh, yes.
We'll talk about it today. That's for sure.
Oh, yes.
We'll talk about it today. So it's kind of continuation of what we kind of started last week. I'm gonna go over some of the things, but the big thing we emphasized last week was why life insurance is such a bad word and why people put it off and why people you know just don't want to deal with it. The different phobias around life insurance. So we're going to continue that today and go a little bit more in why it's not the same as our mothers and fathers' life insurance. Or I should say, to expand on, they have added different types of life insurance where what our mother and father uh, had, that was the only thing that was available, and now there are different types of life insurance based on they're trying to assist you know the whole thing of building wealth, protecting yourself, but really a finance provide using life insurance as a financial resource by just being something we have for a death benefit. So, I'm, my colleague William was here with us last week, and we miss him, but he wasn't able to join us again. But this is something that is dear to his heart as well. That's why he wanted to. He really hated that he couldn't be here to continue the conversation. But
Well, when
we're
you
going
say today's life insurance is not mom and dad's life insurance, that really does bring back memories. So I'm in my 60s. And so when I remember thinking about life insurance back when my parents were talking about it was all about, well, how are we going to pay for your funeral when you're dead? And that's what you're talking about. That's not life insurance today anymore, is it? It
no,
might be
no, it's
part of
not.
it, but it's totally different.
I mean, it's part of it. Life insurance is like it says, it's basically to insure your life when you basically pass on. Life is life. It's going to happen. We all have to face the fact that we're not going to be here on Earth forever. Okay, so we need to have life insurance, but it's a little bit more than than just a death benefit to be able to pay for a funeral. I mean, our parents and their parents, basically, that's what they got life insurance for, was to be able to really pay for their passing on. It was a death benefit, to cover the funeral and maybe pay off a little debt, but and leave a little something for their family, depending on the life insurance. That type of life insurance still exists. It's not like it's not there anymore. It still exists. It's just that there are different types of life insurance now that go beyond just a death benefit. So we have to look at that. The biggest one when universal life was introduced to the world, that became a resource for building wealth. Different corporations and actually banks use the index universal life insurance to build, their, I'll say wealth, but that's one of the products that they use to continually build, having the finances to be able to loan money, so to speak. When they're giving out loans and everything like that, where you think it's coming from. They're basically investing in different life product, well, index universal life, to create and to grow the money that's in their banks. And you can do the same thing with that as an individual. You can become your own bank with an IUL. So it's called Index Universal Life. They're good. You'll hear across the waves the pluses and minuses of IULs, but overall, I myself I'm pro IUL, Index Universal Life. That's what is referred to, IUL. I'm pro because I don't see anything but the pluses on it. You have to, when you're investing, if banks are using it, can't be a bad thing. If they're investing in it, I just can't see it being a bad thing. I read an article where I'm not going to, it's out there. The University of Michigan was using it as far as uh, providing, a source of wealth for their coach, Harbaugh. But it's being used by the big, corporations and banks and different organizations to provide financial services for them, then why can't the little man, or not going to say the little man, but why can't we as individuals do the same thing? We just have to be educated on it, and understand how it works, and have somebody basically working for you to show you how it works. So I just my whole thing with today is to try to get rid of the phobias, and provide you different options, and understanding that life insurance is not a bad word. Shouldn't think of it as a bad word. And let's move forward, and use the tools that are out there for you to do the things that you need to get done. When you're you know trying to provide a financial foundation for your family and protect
I
yourself.
think most of the time it's the fear of the unknown. And so, as you can tell, Vickie is very easygoing. She's not going to hurt you. If you just reach out to her, which her phone number is right here, 713-444-3269. You can have a conversation on Zoom, on the phone, in person. It really doesn't matter how you're going to feel comfortable about it. She'll be able to reach out and touch you where it counts, because let's face it, we all have different fears, okay? And it could be from childhood, it could be something that happened to a friend or neighbor, and we don't know what those fears are until we face them.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
just know we have fear around money. It really is, I think, the biggest fear in the world is money, or the
Yeah.
lack of it,
The lack of
okay?
it. The lack
The
of it,
lack
and
of it.
losing it. The lack of it and losing it if you have it. And that's the other the other thing to think about life insurance. It's a safe, especially IULs. It's a safe investment. You're getting so much out of it. There's I think I looked at this as a what is the life insurance advantage? You know, uh, the
Oh,
pros and
that's good. The
yeah,
advantages of life insurance. I
yeah,
like that.
the advantages of life insurance. There's so many. It's just like, and I can't think of a negative one. I'm just going,
Really?
at least I can't. I'm just going, the life insurance that I work with. I can't think of a negative thing about life insurance. The only
You've never
negative thing,
had a client come back and say, I can't believe you sold me life insurance. This is the worst thing that ever happened to me.
no, not at all, not at all. They're like, ah, and I think the only time I've had someone come to me and was basically upset was that they didn't get enough. I was just like,
Ah,
okay, so
ah.
it wasn't my fault. They just, came to say, well, I didn't get enough, so I need some more. It's like, oh, because they weren't my client or anything like that. But and I've had where someone didn't do it in time. I have, there's a lot of stories out there about people, procrastinating. That's one of the things that we do. Yes, we do, about when we know we should get something done, we procrastinate. So
Yes.
I have some stories on people who procrastinated.
Oh, I've got
So,
my own. I've got my own
yeah,
stories. Let me
yeah,
tell you.
yeah.
That's
So
one thing you don't want to procrastinate on, because the older you get, the more it costs,
yep,
and the more opportunity you have to leave your family in a lurch. And
yeah,
so, yeah, so there's all these different reasons why you should talk to Vickie about getting life insurance. And it could be that you're saving money. It could be that you're saving money and preparing your family for, the end. There's all kinds of reasons why you'd want and there's no reason why not to.
That's the big thing. There's no reason why not to. That's my
Okay.
thing. It's like there is no reason not to. It's just like I mean, seriously. I
Except
mean,
for fear.
yeah,
Fear, I think,
it's
is the only
fear.
thing that,
The
yeah,
biggest big thing is fear. Most people, the underlying current is fear. It's just like fear, and I don't know what the fear is about. Maybe I really, I guess the whole thing that life insurance, like I said, we were talking about, it surrounds death. But it's just you shouldn't. I mean, that's part of life. Death is part of life. So
I think
we,
another fear, Vicki, is that I don't have enough money to buy life insurance.
well,
I don't know. I
I,
don't know
I
how much it might cost, but it's probably more than I can afford.
right. Well, I mean, to that's that's an objection to me more than than a fear. Because when it comes down to it, it's either you're going to protect yourself and your family, or you're not. So you either going to protect yourself and your family, because one day something's going to happen to you, and so you're going to either leave your family in a lurch, trying to basically find money to be able to bury you, or you're not. So there should be no fear there because death is going to happen. That's just part of life, as I said. So life insurance should be used. I mean, should be everyone should go out and try to basically protect themselves. And there, like I think we talked about it in different sessions, but there are different types of life insurance. There's when you break it down, there's two types. You have permanent and you have term. Okay. Now there are different types of permanent, and there's different types of term, But when it comes down to it, there's two categories of life insurance: term and permanent. Term is like it says. It's like there's a time frame on term life insurance. Okay, in other words, you can get a 10-year policy, 20-year policy, 30-year policy. Okay, so there is a termination date as far as how long the life insurance is protecting you. Okay, and then there's permanent life insurance that basically it is as long as you're paying your premiums or you've structured you've had it structured to where you're going to be paying your premiums over a period of time, and you stop, and the life insurance will continue to cover you along with other benefits of it. So that's permanent. Permanent is not going away. In other words, it's there for you. There's no termination date as long as you're paying your premiums, or you've structured it where you pay your premiums to a certain point and it lasts, for your lifetime. Okay, so like I said, there's term, and then there's permanent, and then there's different types of term and permanent. You can basically get when I say different type, there's with the term, it you have a termination date, but you can also receive your return. They have types of term that basically you get your return on premium. Okay, so you can get those type of policies if something should happen and you don't want to continue with that particular policy. That they have some types of term that will give you your premiums back. Really just depends. There are um, different. I'm not going to go into describing all the different life insurance types today. That's a session that could go on forever. So I'm not going to go through
Well,
all that.
what's nice about working with you, Vicki, in my opinion, is if somebody were to call you and say, okay, this is my situation, you don't have to tell them about the 100,000 different plans that they have. You're going to know already that they have a choice between this plan, and this
Yes.
and you can recommend the one that's right for them.
Well, yes. I guess I think I told you that the best thing to do is sit down. You're doing a financial needs analysis,
Yes.
to see exactly where a person is in life as far as what their financial uh, breakdown is, where they want to go, what they need to cover themselves. Because, like I said, you have to have a foundation, and protecting yourself is your foundation. We've discussed this before. So, your foundation is protecting you and your family. But and life insurance is the way to go. And so when I sit down with someone, that's the first thing I'm going to do. A lot of people say, well, I need about oh, I just want about 50, 50K to cover me, blah blah blah. But that's not the way to go about getting life insurance. Unless you've done a financial needs analysis, you really don't know exactly how much you need. It's based on an individual, each individual and their family. Are there, sometimes, a lot of, business owners will, need life insurance to protect their assets and their business. So every person is different, and so you
That's
have to
true.
sit down and do that type of, I call it the come to Jesus moment, to evaluate where you are in life as far as how much you need. Now, you said something about people having a fear of how much is it going to cost me. Their fear is that they can't afford it. Well, you can afford life insurance. There's always a policy out there that's going to basically provide you, some type of coverage. So don't delay in getting it if you feel, just because you think that you can't afford it, because everybody can afford it. I mean, you can, especially when you're young. When you're young, basically that's the best time to, reach out and get coverage as much as you possibly can. Term life insurance is the more affordable life insurance, so most people can get at least term, uh, you know, uh, to begin. But you always want to, move toward a permanent policy. But you can always, like I said, you can afford life insurance. You can get a small, policy, to cover the basis, but you want to look at life insurance, as I said, we're going to talk about moving forward as far as how, using it to your advantages. It's a great tool to build your wealth. So, but anyway, let's talk about some of the things that going to go over some of the things that you know that why life insurance is so important.
Okay.
We talked about protection. It basically protects you from financial loss.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So, if if you have an example would be someone, a family, the breadwinner. You want to the breadwinner needs to be protected. If you have a mortgage, you have children, and things like that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to choke myself. Uh, but it's protection, for if something should happen to that person. You have a family, say you have a family of three. You have car payments, you have a mortgage, uh, paying for daycare, those are big expenses that if the main breadwinner is no longer with us, uh, you know, you know, uh, passes on unexpectedly, or even expected, but more like unexpectedly, then life insurance is there to be able to pick up the pieces for the family. Okay. Um, so you definitely want to look, if you are a family, you're the breadwinner, you should have life insurance. Well, even if you have a mortgage, most mortgage companies require you to get some type of protection to basically buy that home, to get the mortgage, because they want to know their assets are protected. Because believe it or not, folks, mortgage companies do not want to repossess your house. They don't want it. That's something in their inventory they prefer not to have. They really want you to pay, be able to buy the home, pay for your mortgage. Okay. You really want to protect yourself. They're going to require you to protect yourself with, uh, you know, uh, for that type of expense. Um, Paying off debt. Okay. If you are the breadwinner of the family, you need to be able to pay off the debt. You don't want your family to move on. Um, like I said, the mortgage is not going anywhere. Car notes are not going anywhere. They're going to be there whether you're there or not. And so you want to be able to um, protect your family from those types of debt. All right. Let's see. And then, of course, it's the death benefit for being able to handle the funeral and all that. But those are the financial losses that a family can occur if the main breadwinner is not there. So all you lovely wives at homes and mothers, make sure your husband is protected. Is protected. Has life insurance on him as well as you. So you can basically take care of your family when he's not there or she's not there.
You
Okay.
know, Vicki, that brings up the Murder She Wrote. You know, so when is it appropriate to buy life insurance on somebody? Does it have to be your spouse, or can it be your child? Can it, be a neighbor? I mean, tell us a little bit about who buys life insurance and why.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of reasons to buy life insurance for someone else. One, the
Not if
number
you're
one
planning on
reason.
murdering them.
No,
So,
well, no. Okay, no, no. But you know, I'm sorry, you just caught me off guard there.
I
So
watched a Murder She Wrote, and that's what they did. They bought, but they got caught. Okay, you're not supposed to do that. All right,
no,
you're supposed
no,
to buy it
no.
for real
And
reasons.
they have protections now on that too. When you're applying for life insurance, and if you're protecting, buying it for somebody else, because you can have life insurance is set up where there can be an owner and then there can be the person who's being protected. Okay, so the insured. Okay, so but they have protections around that. I'm not gonna get into all that, but they have protections around that where you know to prevent that type of thing happen. I know
Yeah,
it's
yeah. But I
great.
mean, who buys life insurance? Is it just a spouse?
Nope, nope, nope. It could be, you could be the parent. You can insure your kids. I think every parent should insure their kids because if something should happen to that child, whether if they get sick or something should happen, you want to have your child protected. And the other reason you want to protect your child is that once the child has been protected, that's something that they can't take away. Say that the child gets older and there are illnesses that the child incurs, then you know that they've been protected with life insurance. So you
What
should
about
always.
parents? Can you buy life insurance for your parents?
Exactly. Also going to be the next thing is that I actually had a client recently. They were buying it for their father, because they just said that he didn't have life insurance, never got it, and that they needed to. She wanted to make sure he was covered, So she was stepping up to the plate to take care of her dad. Now, one of the things you must realize though is when you're doing that, if your parent, of course, is older now and he's going to have more risk. Okay, so there's only going to be certain life insurance that possibly that he or she will be able to get because now that they're at a certain age, they would probably have acquired different illnesses, different risk type of illnesses that insurance companies, they're going to basically make you pay for it. Okay, in other words, that's when the life insurance becomes expensive, is because of the fact that we've waited a while, we've gotten ill, because in this day, unfortunately, we don't take care of ourselves the way we should, as far as keeping ourselves healthy. You know, I'm I, I'm an example. Yeah, last year I was on a get healthy kick. I'm still on that kick, but we need to take care of ourselves to be able to, um, you know, protect ourselves. If we don't do it when we're young, we don't protect ourselves when we're young, and we wait until we're at an age that we've now occurred some type of illness, whether it be diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all those type of things, then it's going to cost you, more. The insurance company is going to rate you up because you're considered a high or a risk because you have those types of illnesses. Not saying you can't get covered, okay? Not saying they won't cover you, but it's not gonna be as affordable as it could have been if we had taken care of ourselves. Okay, so just think. People need to think about that. It's like if we're on um, certain medications and things like that, it's going to be harder to get us covered. One thing I want to bring up, and it is in my list to talk about, is that many people think that, and I run into this all the time, in that they're covered at their job.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah. I don't
one.
have to worry about it. I'm covered at my job.
Exactly. Yes, you are. You're covered as long as you're with that job. But once you're no longer with that job, you're not covered anymore. Everyone
Uh-oh.
should have their own individual life insurance protection. Okay, because when you leave that job, whether you retire or whatever, that insurance is not coming with you. You know, that's through your company. Now they might have plans where they will allow you to continue the coverage outside of the job. You can take if you know, want to take that particular type of coverage, but it's not going to be because while you're at the job, it's group insurance. So if you want to keep that insurance, it's going to have to be become an individual insurance, and the individual insurance is going to it's going to be a lot higher than what you were paying with your job. Okay, so it's best to just go on and get your own uh, individual insurance. You know, so and it's you never can have enough insurance. I'm sorry, you just never can. You know, you just never can have enough insurance. So, getting at your job, you can do that, but it is group insurance. So when you leave that company, when you leave that job, then you no longer have that coverage. So always have something that's portable that you take with you, that you're covering yourself, and you're not relying on a job to cover your life insurance because it is group. It will pay off if something happens. However, you're limited to the conditions around that life insurance with the job. Okay.
I see. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so it doesn't come with you. And like I said, it's group life insurance. It's not for, they don't set that up as, a company is not going to set up independent, individual life insurance. It's a part of their benefit
Gotcha.
package of group insurance. Okay.
Okay.
So, and I know I talked about, I'm not going to, you just said it's too expensive. That was one of the phobias, it's too expensive, and it's not. Life insurance is never too expensive. You can always find a policy that you can get covered with because you want to always get covered.
Okay.
We talk about you're healthy. People who are healthy, that's the time to get life insurance. If you're healthy, that's the time to get life insurance. Don't say that, oh, I'm healthy, I don't need it. No, that's the time you should get life insurance is when you are healthy because now it's not going to be costly. Get it young while you're still healthy, and you can get a lot of coverage. When you're real healthy, you can get a lot of coverage, and you can basically meet your needs. The, the phobias I hear, like you said, it's too expensive. I can't afford it. That is just that's the excuse is not a fear. It's just an excuse. Now it should be a priority. I talked about that in the beginning. It should be a priority, and many people don't put it as a priority. So
That's right.
many people think, oh yes, I need to get that, but they always put other things in front, and you never can move forward, and if you don't take care of your foundation. So you want to make sure that is a priority. If you haven't done anything, I know if taxes is coming up or whatever, most people think about taxes. Yeah, that's wonderful. However, did you know that having life insurance, certain types of life insurance could basically be a tax advantage?
No.
you know, so that's what I'm saying. People thinking about taxes is like now. It's like if you had put certain types of life insurance in place, your income that you receive from that life insurance policy is tax free. Okay, so certain if you like I said, sitting down with a financial planner or advisor, someone like myself, would basically go through that process with you. Okay, because everybody's talking about taxes now, but life insurance can be a tax advantage. And you just you have to know your tools. Okay. And let's see. I'm trying to think. I know my time is coming up. We're going to do this so fast. I'm like, oh, this day
I
just.
know. I know. Well, I
There.
think the main thing that you're trying to get across here is that it's an individual thing. There's many options to look forward to. And if you just call Vickie at 713-444-3269. You can schedule an appointment. It doesn't hurt. She's not high pressure. You can talk to her on the phone, on Zoom, in person. It doesn't matter what it is that feels most comfortable to you. You and your family, or just you, if you could just get information, right? She's not going to pressure you into anything. And she'll be able to give you the things that are that are most precious to you, because you have a needs analysis that you can pre-do, so that it doesn't even take that much time. I know people, well, I don't have time. Well, you do have time.
You
Just
always
call.
have time to protect yourself.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
just
everybody,
just
you
call her.
just make it a priority. I didn't finish everything I wanted to talk about, but we will continue this. We'll talk. We'll get back to it and talk about it the next time. Well, maybe not the next time we meet, but we'll get back to it. If anyone has questions, please reach out, like Marion says, and just give me a call, or you can email me, or contact Marion. If nothing else, you can contact Marion as well. But my number is 713-444-3269.
Yes, and thank you for joining us today. We're here every Tuesday. We would love to see you live. If you have any special questions, just let us know ahead of time. We'll be happy to answer it on the air. We'd like to have you on and interview you right here on the bright screen, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Always
thank you,
welcome to
Vickie.
that. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Vickie,
I enjoyed
for
it.
yeah. It's a pleasure being able to talk to somebody who's down to earth and can tell it like it is. So thank you for being here.
Not a problem. Take care,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody. See you again next week.